Hey guys, so in CN 2.3 right now, the old characters are getting an upgrade, and that is Lilya, Druvis, NewsBabel, Eternity, Shamane, Sotheby, and Bkornblume. So I'm really excited with this upgrade. You don't get this upgrade for free, but you will be given a certain resources, and you can use that resource to upgrade your characters. But I believe that resources is limited, so you can't like upgrade all of them all at once. So you really got to choose who you want to upgrade. But I'm specifically very interested in upgrading Lilya, Miss NewsBabel's, Eternity, as well as Shamane. Right? That's because I do not have Druvis III or Sotheby. So in this video, I want to go through the upgrades and certain team composition that they will fit into, because I think they do or will define the meta at that point. So the first character here is Druvis III. For your information, I do not have Druvis III in my account, but yeah, so some of my take might be wrong. So anyway, the upgrade that she gets, Green in the Stone, Me in the Forest, her Circle of Life buff, which she gives to all her allies, as long as if they are plant afflators. Yeah, she will buff all of them with Circle of Life, plant afflators. So now this Circle of Life provides damage bonus 15% and penetration 15%, and it can be dispelled. And for every 200 attack that Druvis has, it increased the 15% by additional 1% for every 200 attack. So usually if you fully max them out like level 60, they should have about 1,700 to 2,000 attacks. So that's another addition of 7 to 10%, right? So a total of 22 to 25% damage bonus. And for penetration, if you're attacking an enemy that is petrified, additional 25%. So that's total of 40% penetration rate. The thing now with penetration is, petrify, is that usually if a reality unit attacks it, they will dispel petrify. Okay, but now with this new upgrade on Circle of Life, Plant Reality, right? Because only plant unit has Circle of Life, so Plant Reality will not dispel petrify, and that is really good. Alright, so now you can use like Jessica, Bkornblume, and you don't have to worry about them dispelling Druvis petrification. Okay, on top of that, for every 7.5% of Druvis mental defense, then she also gives attack up. Alright, so the buff that she gets for the party is really good. And yeah, if you have Druvis III, that would be great. So in terms of team composition, so I would recommend, of course, Villa. Druvis III is mental unit. Villa provides buff for mental units, so it's a good pairing. Argus is also very good for her, with the defense down, not defense down, damage taken reduction, and crit damage, crit defense down. So it is a very good combination. And now Argus, even though she is reality, she will not dispel petrify, right? So if you want another 10, you can add Kakanya in, or you can just slot in Ananli Satsuki, obviously because Satsuki also petrifies the enemy, so it helps in terms of the 40% penetration rate, right? The 40% penetration rate. And we have Argus that provide non-overlapping buff like damage dealt as well, and then rousing morale from his ultimate. And he also provides damage reduction. So yeah, these teams all look really solid. So if you have Druvis III, do try them out when it is out in global. Yeah. For the second unit here is Lilya. The thing with Lilya is she have two options. One is the ultimate oriented and the other is incantation. So for the ultimate, basically the first thing that she gets is overflowing crit rate convert into crit damage. Then this is something that we have been wanting for Lilya. If you have been using Lilya previously in like Utu or mainly Utu, because Utu has the Fame card that can help you convert excess crit to crit damage, and Lilya hits like a truck, right? So the potential is there, and now they have given her exactly that. right? And on top of that, every time she crit, she get 1 passion. The thing with passion is maximum is only 2 stacks. But these 2 stacks, when she uses her ultimate, she gains back the passion, like she consumed the passion to grant herself Moxie. So effectively, she will definitely crit, right? She will definitely crit, and you could assume that this passion will definitely be at least 2 charges by the time she ultimates. So she technically just needs 3 Moxie in order to get her ultimate. That makes her rotation really fast, and that is crazy, right? And now if your follow-up attack crits, you get 2 layers of Ethic, and Ethic is basically ultimate might, and it increased by 3%. So every time you crit using your follow-up attack, you get 6% of ultimate might, and assuming that she needs to attack 3 times to get through her ultimate now, so you will be doing 3 follow-up attacks, and that would be 18% ultimate might. So she grants herself 18%, right? So even though it says it can stack up to 100, you probably will never achieve that, because every time you have her ultimate up, you will definitely use it. The aerial maneuver now also does follow-up attack. So currently, she has 1 single target incantation, and that does follow-up attack. Then she has the AoE incantation that doesn't do follow-up attack. So now with this upgrade, she does follow-up attack as well. So now regardless of the type of incantation that she's using, she will be doing follow-up attack with every incantation. Alright? And again, when she's releasing ultimate, for every ethic that she has, it increased 30% relative damage for her ultimate, up to 15 layers. But again, you probably will not hit 15 layers. Yeah, like I mentioned, she only needs 3 attacks to get her ultimate, and each attack is 2 ethics, right? So there's 6 ethics, so 6 times 30, it will add 180% relative damage to her ultimate, which overall is very good. So she does, like, if I'm not mistaken, about 600 to 700. Then now it adds on top of that, so about 800 to 900 probably. And now she converts the crit rate to crit damage, so she will be hitting really hard on her ultimate. And here I recommend Shamane. That's because Shamane also provides ethic, right? Shamane gives ethic to the teammate, and every time the teammate does an ultimate, it provides surge to Shamane, and Shamane also do ultimate rather frequently, so it is a very good synergy now with Lilya. Okay, so I would recommend to put Lilya with Shamane. And then we have Isolde. Isolde has relative defense down and increased defense down. It kind of overlap with Shamane on the defense side, but I recommend Isolde here because she has rousing morale as well as power burst, which really could further boost Lilya's damage. But of course, you can substitute Isolde with any other buffer. And here I also recommend Lopera, because Lopera can now, she's a very passive, like as long as her ultimate is up, she can gain Moxie for free. So in that case, Shamane is giving Moxie to the party, and the party is now doing ultimate and giving Shamane, and then it helps Lilya. So all this synergize very well. So I really recommend Lopera. Her ultimate can give 40% crit, and she gives a bunch of crit damage as well. Okay, for incantation build, she get incantation might 5%, and if you read down lower, if she have sharp bullet, and if sharp bullet has been triggered twice in a round, then it increases her incantation might by 20%. So in a way, she have an increase of 25% incantation might. And she also converts overflowing crit rate to crit damage. And when the round starts, she gains 1 sharp bullet. And when she crits, there's a 50% chance to gain 1 sharp bullet. And when she attacks, she does follow up. So there's 2 chances of 50% each that you can get sharp bullets. Alright, so with this upgrade as well for the incantation side, her AoE incantation also does a follow-up attack, just like the ultimate one. And yeah, sharp bullet, when you attack, it will consume the sharp bullets and decrease the target crit defense by 5% for 2 rounds up to a maximum of 2 layers. So I believe if you have 2 stacks and then you attack, she does follow up, you can dump both stacks on the enemy. So technically she decreased the enemy crit defense by 10%. So 25% incantation might, 10% crit damage. Now if you compare it with the ultimate one, ultimate has 18% ultimate might, and it increased the ultimate damage by 180% reality damage. That's about like 20% damage to the original ultimate, as well as faster cycle because you get 2 free Moxie. So I do think the ultimate one is stronger than this build, but if you really like this incantation one where you party yourself with Anjonala, so Anjonala now links to Lilya. Every time Lilya attack, Anjonala will do a follow-up attack as well, and you have 37. So yeah, Lilya will be doing follow-up, Anjonala will be doing follow-up, so 37 will be doing her AoE follow-up at some point, right? And here I again recommend Lopera. For the third unit here is Sotheby. Sotheby Cure, now if your unit is being attacked and it has lower than 40% HP, then her cure will be immediately triggered, so she will instantly heal. Cure now is layered, so you can stack it up. And when she enters battle, for every HP that Sotheby has, increase healing rate by 7%, so healing is better now. And for each 100 attack that Sotheby has, increase her own poison damage. So again, like if you upgrade fully, she probably have like 1700, so it increase by 17 times 2 over 30% of her poison damage, which is interesting, right? So at the start of the turn, it gives 1 layer of bi-directional potion. So what bi-directional potion does is that it consumes all layer after attacking, and for each layer consumed, it gives the target, which means the enemy, will receive 1 additional stack of poison, and your ally, yeah, you also receive 2 rounds of cure, right? So just an upgrade in terms of how well she heals and give her a little bit more potential on the poison and the poison damage, but her kit is literally would be, the way you use her will be the same. And her party here definitely is Tuesday, Kakania, because Kakania also have Genesis damage, and Tuesday boosts Genesis damage, so it helps out. And then you have Willow here, so this will be the poison team. So of course, if you are Kanjira, you can always substitute Kakania with Kanjira for more poison if you want to. Okay, I do not have any of these characters except Kakania, so I probably will not be using this team even when they have arrived in Global. And the fourth unit here is Eternity. So drain the blue wave once more. So now Eternity's kit is quite similar to Semmelweis, right? In the sense that she drains the party HP, and the lower the HP is, the more buff she provides. So after attacking, I believe it's her, after she attacks, it deducts 10% of max HP from all allies. So this is 4 instances of HP reduction. So if you have Semmelweis and Semmelweis has her ultimate up, so there's additional, I think, like 120% reality damage for Semmelweis. So that is actually pretty insane, right? So a very good synergy with Semmelweis. And then she deals extra, highest max HP of allies times 7% Genesis, which is why I recommend Kakania in this team. So Kakania usually have very high HP, and with the HP reduction from the party, it also helped to feel Kakania's empathy. So now with that, Eternity is also doing Genesis damage, and I think that is really good synergy between these 3 units, right? But if any ally has lower than 50%, then she will not be able to reduce their HP further. So at least that's a certain cap, and you should heal back up. Like when I mentioned about Semmelweis previously in my video, I say that you should kind of like balance it between 60 to 7% of your HP. So it's a good thing that now Eternity just capped at 50%. So you got a heal back, so in a way it's less risky to play, while you are still able to make use of all this HP reduction potential. Okay, when she enters battle, the max HP of all allies also increased by 5% of Eternity max HP. Yeah, pretty good. Damage taken now decreased by 5% to a maximum of 25%. Okay, so together with Semmelweis, with Calcania, and if you have NewsBabels there, your HP reduction gonna be crazily high. So even though if the enemy gonna hit very hard, you can mitigate so much HP. So even though your HP is rather low most of the time because of their kit, you probably will not die, right? With the shield from NewsBabel, with the HP reduction, and Calcania help to manage the balance between the HP, they should be pretty solid. Okay, and lastly, for every 10% loss in HP up to 5 times, which is 50% loss at max, it increased 4% crit rate and 6% crit damage for 5 times, which means 20% crit rate and 30% crit damage. And that is something like what Vila provides to the party. Yeah, so overall, Eternity does look pretty good. And if you put her in the right team, they should be doing some good damage. So here I also recommend Joe in case you do not have NewsBabel. Yeah, so Joe also reduce his own HP, provide shield to the party, so it would be a good addition to the team as well. And now we have Miss NewsBabels. Was said to be the worst unit for reverse 996 star, 9996 star, but now she's pretty good. So her kit, Tower shall be built by ambition. So when releasing a new wave, which is her shield, is a buff and she shields the party with that. If target already have a shield, augment the original shield to a maximum of 200% of the original shield's maximum. So she helped to enhance an existing shield. So assuming like you have Joe have a shield, and then NewsBabel use that, so she upgrades it, right? And for each 300 shield an ally has, it increased their crit rate by 1%, and that is good as well. Now she also provide more buffs to the party. A total number of shield given by a new wave increased by 40%, okay? And all riposte, which is counter damage by allies, increased by 25%. So Joe will be hitting harder by 25%. If you are Mr. Duncan, he will also be hitting harder by 25%. NewsBabel herself, after ultimate, she also does a counter attack, and now is also increased by 25%. So she is now like the buffer for counter teams, right? And when allies are attacked, immediately release a follow-up attack, 1-star new wave. Okay, once max per round, and when an ally counter a total of 3 times, she also casts a new wave. So if you put this into perspective, so now it's your turn, you set up everything, and now it's enemy. Enemy is gonna hit you once, and your shield will be drained, not your HP, because you should have a shield. Your shield will be drained, but now NewsBabel use a new wave, and it will then increase, it will restore the shield. Yeah, so that is pretty crazy. So it's like in a way, she is making your team really sustainable. Like, you don't have to worry so much. And if you have Joe in the party, and if the enemy is going to do an AoE attack that hits all 4 of your units, and Joe is going to like counter 4 times in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then NewsBabel going to cast a new wave again, and then restore your shield again. So yeah, you put it into context, your party probably is not going to die. So the problem with Joe having too low HP and just having sufficient shield, or most of the time is not sufficient, which is why he dies. And a lot of time people say that he's not a good character, that's because he can't shield himself and he dies. But now NewsBabel come in and he will ensure that Joe will survive. So if you put Lopera in this team, and Lopera does single target healing, which then can specifically heal Joe, you will make this entire team even more sustainable. And then I include Mercuria in here because a new wave is a rank incantation. So let's say in a turn you use 4 rank 1 incantation and one of it is Mercuria's buff. So there is like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 stacks of cosmic energy, and when your party is being attacked, Babel is going to use a new wave, so there's 2 more stacks, 14 stacks, and then if Joe is going to hit so many times, another new wave will be triggered, another 1 rank, and that will be another 2 stack, 16. So in a way, Mercuria will be able to provide maximum buff to that party. Yeah, which is why I put it in. But I'm not too sure if the new wave actually counts. It should, right? Based on whatever that we know about Mercuria, it should. So I'm recommending this team for NewsBabel. And here we also have Shamane towards Pilgrimage. So Shamane now is more of a generic ulti support unit. Alright, we never had ultimate support unit. Like, which unit actually grants ultimate might? It's always incantation might. So there is no ultimate might except for Lopera, but now Shamane's is our new support unit for characters that relies on ultimate, right? For example, we have Lilya, we have Spatodia, and a lot of older DPS unit we have Melania. They all uses ultimate. Okay, it's only that the new meta now in global, like Windsong, Lucy, they are more incantation oriented, like markets as well. So Shamane now comes back to be our first ultimate support unit. Okay, so his kit is basically when other allies releases ultimate, he gains 2 layers of surge. So surge increases his ultimate by 5%, and if you unlock the final buff of his new buff here, every time every time another unit uses ultimate, he gets 3 stacks of surge. Okay, so imagine you have 4 units right now. The other 3, let's say they are using ultimate once each. So that would be 9 stacks of surge. And if Shamane uses his own, another 2 stacks, that's total of 11 stacks of surge. So he will get 50% ultimate might. And that is good because his ultimate already convert excess crit to crit damage, and his ultimate hits pretty hard. And he can do back-to-back ultimate. So now with all this supporting him, he is a very decent sub DPS unit that provides support for ultimate to the main DPS. Okay, and when he consumes surge, for every 2 layers of surge, it gives 1 random Moxie. So if he have 10 surge and he use ultimate, he's gonna give 5 Moxie spread out between the party. Okay, so that is also insanely good. And for each Moxie that he gives to the party, he gives 5 layers of ethic. So ethic is 3% ultimate might. So he gives 15% ultimate might to a unit, but the more Moxie he gives that unit, the more ultimate might. So let's say if 5 Moxie directly to 1 unit, which is probably not gonna happen, but let's assume RNG does its work and all 5 on 1 unit, then you're gonna have 25 stack of ethic, and 25 stack of ethic is like 75% ultimate might, which is insanely strong. Okay, so which is why I recommend here 6, because 6 has a very good ultimate as well, over 1000% mental damage, right? So let's assume Anjonala, you link it with Shamane, and now Anjonala and Shamane is going to out so many times and giving Moxie to 6 and maybe to Fairy, and then they will ultimate as well. So that's how they would synergize. And another option here, I just put a random unit, but anyone that focus on ultimate can be used with Shamane. So for example, here I have Spatodia, and Spatodia is gonna hit way harder now. Okay. And the last unit here is Bkornblume. I did not put any party recommendation for Bkorn. That's because her kit now is really generic and suitable for a lot of units, but obviously due to her reality defense down, she is suitable for a reality based unit. Okay, so the good thing about her right now is when the round ends, if herself is not attacked by any of the enemy, like she did not receive any damage, she gains 1 Moxie for free. So now she's like just standing there and she can gain Moxie for free. So after 5 rounds, she can just use her ultimate without doing anything, right? So I really like units like that where you can just stand there and they can do things. So Bkorn falls into that category right now. And on top of that, if the enemy who has not attacked Bkornblume will gain 1 layer of weakness. So 1 layer of weakness means they will do less attack. Okay, so now if you party her with, let's say, NewsBabel, Semmelweis, the team that I mentioned just now, that have, or Eternity, that have high damage reduction, so now she's gonna help, but on the enemy side, that she's gonna reduce their damage. Okay, so it's very good with NewsBabel because NewsBabel can taunt. So if NewsBabel is gonna taunt, means Bkorn probably will not get hit that often. Okay, and on top of that, her ultimate now has penetration rate 30%, and before she released her ultimate, she also decreased the crit defense of the target by 20%. Right, so on top of damage reduction taken from her debuff as well as relative defense down, she now also have crit defense down. Okay, so that is all for this video. I'm really excited, especially for NewsBabel. I want to put her together with Joe, and also for Lilya as well as Shamane, right? So these are the 3 units that I'm really looking forward to, and I hope you do so as well. Thank you.